Good evening students. Today we will do here part 2 of chapter 1, and that is life process. So yesterday we had discussed that all the living organisms need energy to perform various functions, and they get this energy from food. We also discussed about the nutrition and its types. Today we will discuss about the nutrition in plants. Okay, so as you know that the plants are the autotrophs and they make their own food by the process of photosynthesis, and during this process they release oxygen as a byproduct. So let's discuss how do plants synthesize their food during photosynthesis. So as you know that plants convert carbon dioxide present in the air into carbohydrate, and using the energy from the sunlight and release oxygen as a byproduct, which is used by animals and humans to breathe. This process is known as photosynthesis. So plant cells also contain cell organelle called chloroplast, which contain a green pigment called chlorophyll, which are essential for photosynthesis. Okay, so let's discuss about the mechanism of photosynthesis. Mechanism of photosynthesis. So mainly photosynthesis gets completed in two phases. They are dark phase and a light phase. Photosynthesis gets completed in two phases. Number one is a light phase and a dark phase. Okay, so the light phase requires light, and so it is also called a photochemical reaction. What it is called? It is also called a photochemical reaction. Photo means light, it requires light, so it is also known as the photochemical reaction. And dark phase requires no light and it is purely a chemical reaction. Okay, so mainly three steps are there which are involved in photosynthesis. So now let's discuss the steps involved in photosynthesis. Okay, so three main steps are there, and two steps out of these three steps are the part of light phase. Okay, so what happens in light phase? Mainly three main steps are there, and the first step is absorption of sunlight through chlorophyll. What is that? Absorption of sunlight through chlorophyll. Okay, so let's discuss how does it happen. It takes place in granular region of chloroplast. Where does it take place? It takes place in granular region of chloroplast. ठीक है? During light reaction, radiant energy of sun is trapped by chlorophyll. During light reaction, the radiant energy of sun is trapped by chlorophyll. And it absorbs visible light energy in the form of photon, and it absorbs visible light energy in the form of photon. Visible light energy in the form of photon. So what are photons? Photons are the packets of energy. Photons are the packets of energy. Okay. And keep remember that as shorter the wavelength is, higher the energy of photon. Okay. As shorter the wavelength, is higher the energy of photon. Okay. And okay, this is the first step. Second step, that is conversion of light energy to chemical energy. Conversion of light energy to chemical energy and splitting of water molecules or a water molecule into hydrogen and oxygen. Hydrogen and oxygen. Okay. So let's see how does it occur. Conversion of light energy to chemical energy and splitting of water molecule in hydrogen and oxygen. Okay. So emitted electrons from chlorophyll is responsible for carrying out three main functions. So what are they? Emitted electrons from chlorophyll is responsible for carrying out three main functions. So what are these functions? Number one is formation of ATP. Formation of ATP. So what is ATP? ATP is adenosine triphosphate. Okay. So ATP joins ADP joins a phosphate group for the formation of ATP. ADP. It is adenosine diphosphate, and how it will form ATP? By joining a phosphate group. ठीक है? ADP joins a phosphate group for the formation of ATP. ठीक है? Means ADP, when it will join a phosphate group, ठीक है, it will form the ATP. Again, the full form of ADP is adenosine diphosphate, and the full form of ATP is adenosine triphosphate. Okay. And the formation of ATP from ADP during light phase is called photophosphorylation. Okay. Formation of ATP from ADP during light phase is called photophosphorylation. Formation of ATP from ADP during light phase is called photophosphorylation. ठीक है. And now next one is photolysis of water. Formation of ATP, first step, ठीक है. First function. Second function is photolysis of water. So decomposition of water into hydrogen and oxygen by light energy is called photolysis of water. Photo means light, ठीक है, and lysis means decomposition. So you can also remember the definition by photolysis, that decomposition of water into hydrogen and oxygen by light by light energy is called photolysis of water. The decomposition of water into hydrogen and oxygen by light energy is called photolysis of water. Okay, and oxygen is released at atmosphere as product of photosynthesis. Okay, as byproduct of photosynthesis. Like ठीक है, 2H2 is there, then it will be forming after the decomposition of water molecule, ठीक है, 2H2 plus O2 will be there, and you can see that oxygen, this O2 is released at atmosphere as the byproduct of photosynthesis. And the third function is, that is the synthesis of NADPH. Synthesis of NADPH, ठीक है. So what is it? The released hydrogen ion from water are made available to NADP and reduces it to NADPH. It is also used in dark phase. Okay, the released hydrogen ions, okay, these released hydrogen ions from water are made available to and reduces it to NADPH. It is also used in dark phase, ठीक है, which is also used in dark phase. Okay students, so these are the three main functions which are carrying out by the emitted electrons from chlorophyll. Okay, so now let's discuss about the dark phase. And as I told you that three main steps are involved in the photosynthesis, and out of these three, two steps they are the part of light phase and the rest of one is the part of a dark phase. So what is that? That is reduction of CO2 to carbohydrate. Number 3, it is the reduction of carbon dioxide to carbohydrate. So let's understand it, that how does it occur. So this is the last stage of photosynthesis and also known as the Calvin-Benson cycle. This is the last stage of photosynthesis and also known as Kelvin-Benson cycle. Okay. In this stage, carbon dioxide is reduced to glucose by the hydrogen in NADPH by utilizing the energy stored in ATP. Okay. In this stage, CO2 is reduced to glucose, okay, by the hydrogen in by utilizing the energy stored in ATP. By utilizing the energy stored in ATP. Okay. This dark reaction takes place in stroma region of chloroplast. Dark reaction okay. So let's understand now what are the necessary conditions for photosynthesis. Necessary conditions for photosynthesis. So the most important necessary conditions for photosynthesis are sunlight, okay. Number 2, that is chlorophyll. Third one is water. And number 4, that is carbon dioxide, okay. Now let's know about the raw materials for photosynthesis. And what are the raw materials for photosynthesis? They are CO2 and water, okay. So students, tomorrow we will discuss that how the plants obtain carbon dioxide and water for photosynthesis and what is the site of photosynthesis, okay. Thank you.